Hello, I'm Avis Kalfsbeck, and this is the Peace is Here podcast. Welcome to Peacewarts, School of Peacecraft and Inquiry, where we practice the skills of peace through short classes. We take the peace work seriously, but not ourselves. If you're joining us mid-school year, you're not late. Orientation begins at episode 198. Welcome back, Peace Scholars. This is Chronicled Courage 101 in the Hall of Records, where we keep our eyes on the evidence. Today we look at the most important territory of all, the human mind. Specifically, we are looking at the battle over the definition of the word realism. If you describe yourself as a realist today, people usually assume you are cynical. They assume you believe that humans are naturally violent and that peace is a temporary glitch. In this department, we argue that this isn't realism at all. It's a failure of imagination. True realism is the recognition that because humans built the systems of war, humans can build the living architecture of peace. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein. History. For decades, our culture has been addicted to dystopian narratives. We have thousands of hours of content showing us exactly how we will betray each other for food once the map fails. While these stories are often sold as warnings, researchers have found they act as a double-edged sword. The simulation benefit. At their best, dystopian narratives promote critical thinking. They act as mental simulations, helping us prepare for potential real-world crises like environmental collapse or government overreach. They can spark empathy and empower audiences to challenge the status quo, sometimes even leading to a surge in real-world activism. The normalization danger. However, there's a dark side to this addiction. Studies suggest that constant exposure to totalitarian dystopias can actually increase a person's willingness to justify radical or violent responses to injustice. When chaos and destruction become our primary form of entertainment, we risk desensitization, dulling our emotional responses to real-world suffering because it doesn't look as cinematic as the fiction. The apathy loop. Overexposure to bleak futures can foster a sense of hopelessness. If every story ends in ruins, we begin to feel that societal problems are too large to solve. We start to expect a cinematic revolution and overlook the difficult, messy, incremental work of real-life peace building. If we spend all our time practicing for a collapse, we stop practicing for coordination. Protopian thinking. We must start chronicling the future with the same rigor we use for the past. This is what the technologist and philosopher Kevin Kelly calls Protopian thinking. Kevin Kelly, the founding executive editor of Wired magazine, argues that we don't need a perfect utopia, which is static and impossible, but a protopia. A protopia is a state that is slightly better today than it was yesterday. It is incremental and requires active work, but it is achievable. Thesis. The realists of the war machine want to erase the record of our success because a population that believes in its own competence is a population that cannot be easily frightened into war. When people trust their ability to cooperate, they stop buying into the narrative of fear. The lens of the daily record. We are addicted to a dystopian news cycle. If 1,000 planes land safely today, there's no headline. In this department, we recognize that the news is a curated selection of outliers. To be a realist is to look at the 99% of human interactions that go right every day, the quiet coordination of energy grids, the millions of us who don't harm each other, and recognize that as the primary reality. The courage to be optimistic. It takes no courage to be a cynic. Cynicism is a protective shell that ensures you are never disappointed. But it takes immense courage to be an optimist, to look at the broken parts of our world and insist they can be repaired. The records we keep are not just about what happened, they are about what can happen. Your homework. 1. Look up Kevin Kelly's definition of Protopia and find one example of an incremental improvement in your community that happened because people chose to cooperate. 2. Write down one question about any of this episode's topics. If you don't have a question, just write no question. 3. Optional. Journal. Think about a piece of media you consumed recently. Did it act as a warning that inspired action, or did it foster a sense of inevitable hopelessness? The ink of the future. In the Department of Chronicled Courage, we believe that peace is the interruption of the plan. It is the moment we realize that the dystopian script is a choice, not a destiny. True realism requires us to be as rigorous about human goodness as we are about human failure. The record shows that the human capacity for coordination is our most durable technology. The ink of the future is still wet, and the pen is in our hands. Until next class, keep your eyes on the evidence. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the Pieces Here podcast, the most helpful way is to follow it wherever you're listening. It helps share the message with others. You can also support this piecework at my Patreon for $4 a month, about what a used paperback goes for these days. Just go to Patreon at patreon.com/Avis Kalfsbeck. That's AVISKALFSBEEK. My most recent book is Mana Mutante, a best friend eco-fiction novella about food systems, featuring Tilly, Camus, Pedro, and the rest of the gang. It's book 6 in the Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series and is available wherever you buy books. You can find all of my peace projects and stay in touch at aviskalfsbeck.com. Music is by Javier Peque Rodriguez. Sound effects are from Pixabay. Regarding peace, we need not delay or despair. We are not late. We are right on time to love. We are all scholars of peace. Listen for the peace.